What's up, Bilal?
What's up, man?
How are you, man?
I'm good.
That's good, man. Thank you for taking the time for the interview. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. At first, I just want to start talking about your album you released last year, Airtight's Revenge. It's been, since you released it, it's been almost a year. How's it been received by your fans? Like, what's the reception been?
All the people love it, When we go to perform, I perform a lot of the songs out, and people are enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. That's good. You've had a lot of guest appearances over the years, but that was only your second official release since your debut album back in 2001. So, did you find that a lot of your fans were still waiting for you after all that time?
Yeah. Which is really cool, I've been getting asked the same question for years, from people randomly on the street, like, when are you coming out again? So, it's really cool.
Yeah. And, how was it really frustrating for you to have to wait so long between albums? Tell me about that.
For it to be this long, it was kind of frustrating, but I had to deal with a lot of my career behind the scenes,
Yeah. I was reading that your solo deal with Interscope was kind of turbulent at times. Would you say you're in a much better situation now to release music going forward?
Yeah, right now I'm putting out stuff through independent companies, with the whole Interscope situation, it was good in the beginning, but towards the end, with the company, I wasn't signed direct, but the company that I was signed with, we just started to have creative differences,
Yeah.
The independent route, and in the route that I'm on now, I'm putting out music that I want to put out, and I'm signing the people that are creatively understand what it is that I want to do.
Yeah.
So it is. I would say it's a better situation creatively.
Yeah. And how frequently do you plan to release music? New albums or whatever under this new, your new label situation?
I plan on putting music, a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll put target on it, when I'm creating, I'm going to the studio,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like a 9-year wait or anything,
Yeah, definitely. I'm a fan of the history behind the music, so I was hoping to, touch on your first album, Firstborn Second, and just get from you, what you remember most about recording that album.
Well, I remember working with some really good producers, and learning. I also remember the fact that the whole album was analog, so we were working in big giants, using tapes and stuff. So, completely different now.
Yeah. Okay. And I know you've had a lot of collaborations with Common over the years. Over 10 collaborations. How did you guys originally link up? And what's your relationship been like through the years?
No, I said I met Common in 1999, and it was through a demo tape that I had. So a friend of mine gave him the tape.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. I was also reading you were part of the Soul Aquarians collective early on in your career, out in Philly. What was that whole experience like?
It was cool, just working, surrounded, and being a part of some really dope cats,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was the youngest, so
Okay.
was just really dope. You know, just to be a part.
Mm-hmm. Did you learn a lot during that period?
I learned a whole lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
There's a couple collaborations I wanted to ask you about that you've had over the years. Just hoping to get some background from you on them. You know, because there's some personal favorite songs of mine, and I was hoping you could give me some history behind each of those. You know, how you linked up or whatever. The first one is the song you did called "Certified" with Guru and Jay Dilla.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh man.
talk about that.
Oh, that was a dope collaboration. I remember doing that. Both of those cats were really talented. So we did the whole song in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much showed up in Detroit, went to Dilla's house, and while we were talking about what we were going to do, Dilla made the beat right there on the spot, about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then we, you know, kept talking and jamming to the song, and then we went over to a bigger studio and laid everything down.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're working with cats on that kind of a level, everything just seems so easy, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Another one is Tweet, Best Friend.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that one.
Oh, the Tweet song, I remember, you know, I did that out in L.A. I think about the same day that I met Tweet, went over to the studio and working on Best Friends, and I heard it and just plugged in a 57 mic in the booth. No, well, not in the booth. I think it was in a console room,
Mm-hmm.
and I just sang along to the track, and that's what they kept. Didn't write anything down, really. Just trying to vibe.
Okay.
So it was fun.
Yeah. Cool. One more, and that's the song you did with Music Soul Child, Don't Stop.
Don't Stop. Well, that was a track produced by a good friend of mine, 88 Keys. So, I got the song. I think Music wrote the song. That one I just pretty much learned the song and just sang it down, put my own stamp on it, and threw some background on it, and that's what it was.
Okay. Has there been an artist for you that's been a favorite to collaborate, you know, through the years, or someone you worked with that you had the best experience with?
I think I would say Dilla, you know, because Dilla always was doing something new and something creative, you know, that I took away, and, you know, learned, you know, that I could say that I've used that technique on songs that I've written since then, you know?
Yeah.
So he kind of affected me, you know?
Yep. Okay. You know, so you had the album last year. You know, I know you've been doing some touring, but, you know, tell us what's next for Bilal.
Well, what's next for me is making music, you know. I'm gearing up to do like a live DVD of this album, Love for Sale, that I was working on back in I think it was 2006. But it is a popular demand. You know, everybody that a lot I talk to, they ask me about that album. So I think the best possible thing that I could do is to kind of stop all of the questions. Is just me put out a live DVD, you know, and do something like that, a live DVD recording of the album.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading that, you know, when you were going to release that album, it kind of got bootlegged, and a lot of people you know, got a chance to hear it, and they, you know, the people who heard it, they loved the album. You know, did that kind of, you know, how much did that hurt you that you weren't able to officially release it, but the people who heard it loved it?
It sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but I really kind of got over it when I you know, started getting all the feedback from people, you know, them saying that they loved it and they enjoyed it, and you know, it kind of made an impression without even coming out, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.